Our Lord and Saviour.
Go away.
Oh no, now I've got to show off my embarrassing invisible socks to everyone.
Oh, I've got them as well. It's fine. It's all good. I did
How you
this.
doing, mate? You good? Yes. Good to see you, my man. Nice to see you. How are we doing, man? You alright? Good to see you, buddy. Got a bag for the clothes.
Nice.
It's very resourceful of me, isn't it?
That bag is not big enough for all of the clothes. Probably not.
Well, I only brought one bag, Alex, so...
More bags.
So what, we're like a month away from the end of the split or arguably 8 hours away from the end of the split.
That's not.
So that's where we find ourselves at the moment. How does everyone think everything has gone so far in general? Like,
I think we needed a lot of time to find our identity of how we wanted to play. And I think that really took not too long because it was necessary, but it took really long.
Yeah.
And that like kind of.
I don't think there's any problem with individual talent in this team at all.
Except tax.
Yeah, except Axel, of course, but like that's besides the point.
Special case.
No, honestly, I think individually, like, we did a lot in recruitment to make sure that we got individually really talented players, and I think we achieved that. And I think, based on individuals, we should on everyone in the UK scene. I think when we play as a team, whether it's in scrims or in tournament matches, you're not Sendo anymore, you're not Quickstep anymore. No one is their own person, because all you are is just a cog in a team, basically. You're not playing for the Sendo Pentakill, or you're not playing for anything like that. I think some of the time the reason that the Korean teams do so well is because they're able to leave their egos at the door, and when they play as a team, they are all, it might be a cultural thing, I don't know, but they're all like on the same level, and they all see themselves as just part of like one team. Something I think that's missing from esports in general is this idea that you're playing for the person next to you rather than yourself.
I think not having cohesive team units is something that's, for me, more common in esports than sport. And I probably think that's partially because the fast turnaround of players. A split is 2 or 3 months and then you're off to a different team, and you never really get that chance to properly gel. People think, oh, a few weeks and they'll be gelled and they'll be like working together really well. It doesn't happen like that. In traditional sports teams, sometimes you spend 2-3 years with the team, and you know them inside and out, not just in game, outside of game, and you get pretty close. So that's something we have encountered a little bit this split. You kind of bring the best players together. You never know how well they're going to work together, and sometimes, even if you've got the best players, it's not as good as having 5 players that are kind of working for each other.
A lot of it comes down to how you want to play, who you want to prioritise. So you're in a situation in a team where the team has to decide, we're going to prioritise this person, and that's going to be at the cost of other people. The problem that we have is that we have several different players who both have the potential to carry, but also have the desire to be the person who has all the resources and carries. So where on some teams it's quite obvious where the resources should go and everyone sort of knows where they should go, we have a situation on our team where I guess we can choose where they go, but the downside to that being that if we choose one person and it doesn't work, then everyone else thinks like, why didn't they choose me as the person who's getting all the resources? In an ideal world, we'd have developed to the stage where we can choose people and perform equally well, but that's not the case at the moment. And depending on what patch, and also sometimes just depending on the day and how the players are performing, there can be people who still really believe they can do it, but aren't actually putting up the results that we want, which makes it even more stressful because you'll end a game thinking, I would have won that if I'd have been given the resources, which makes the team dynamic really, really difficult sometimes. And that's been one of the biggest things we've struggled with the whole split, that we have several different people who want to carry, I guess is the simplest way to put it, and we can't have them all carrying every game because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, at the end of the day, in a month's time, when we win the UK League and when we're there, Grand Final, Central Stage in Poland for European Masters, you know after this game, I might not play with these 5 individuals ever again. And that's fine because you're a professional, and what you'll do is you'll go home, you'll work on your personal skills, you'll work on your personal stream, and the team you join for the next split, you'll act in exactly the same way because that's what you do, right? But for right now, the other 4 blokes that are on your team are the only people that are making you successful. There's the only way for you to be individually successful and individually recognised is if this team performs. It's not if you go off in a game and you get battered, like brilliant, like no one gives a it's if you as a team succeed. So I think you guys need to start thinking as a cohesive unit more. When you're breaking down games, when you're playing games, like in everything you do, think as this one unit. That is how I think that we will go from what we are now to being one of the best teams in Europe.
I don't know, I think in esports there's less authority in the coaches probably, because there's always like players who are like, I don't know, challenger, top, I don't know, something really high, then they think they're like on the top of the world and then they can just do whatever they want. If there's just one guy in the team that just looks at his individual stuff and tries to argue his individual like performance with like other individual performances in the team, it will already create so much trouble within the team because everyone will then start to look after themselves as well. I don't know, it's like a disease in the team, man. It's really bad. Like it's really hard. It's really hard to find 5 people that like really almost don't look at like individual mistakes and try to always think like, what can I do for this guy? Even though I played my game really fucking good, how can I help this guy in mid lane or this guy in top lane or I don't know, my jungler or my ADC, you know? So I don't know. It's just an additive thing. I think it's really hard to find.
So, John.
Come on.
Game day.
Yeah, most important game of the split so far. But then every game is that now. And each game is more important than the last one. And when you lose, you're done.
I'm gonna get this in. Can't
have any slip-ups now.
I talked to you a bit early, but I think
It'll be good though, I think. It's Hyperion, 8 o'clock tonight. Best of 3. I don't think we've played them before. I think this might be like literally the only team that we haven't played. We've played like Mirage, and we've not played.
I'm gonna walk to top now.
Not played Hyperion. So it'll be interesting to see. They've got some good like young UK players, which will be good to play against. It's always good to play against. As we're getting near the end of the split, things are getting more and more stressful, more and more tense because each game matters more. So when we were playing against Hyperion and it was Barcelona on the line, and I think everyone would consider this season an absolute failure if we didn't make Barcelona. I think people want to win, but not making top 4 would just have been disastrous.
It is Excel, a 2nd-seeded team, versus Hyperion, a 7th-seeded team. Here comes the engage from Quicksef. Demo is still lurking, the re-engage onto Venza, but taps him with a 3-man body slam, throws everyone back, looking for a second, they're gonna get it. Can they do anything more is the question. Rippy coming to try and lock up Demo, and he saves him, and he picks up the kill. Venza dives on in towards the backline, and Snugly is taken down quickly. Yusa now versus Quicksef knocked up. That's 2 kills going forward. That's gonna be the game coming through as Yusa finds his final moment at the hands of Rippy. It is going to be Taxa stealing it as well. That's going to be Demo in a lot of trouble. Quicksef escapes. Taxa may give up his life for this, but so will Demo, you feel. First kill goes Venza's way in the middle of the fight. Here comes the rest of them more. It's going to be the kills going Hyperion's way for now, but Sendo starts dunking, and it is going to be Taxa who's going to be cut off for now. Sendo though wants to re-engage. Venza trying to get into the fight, but of course that shockwave is so threatening. There's the dunk. They find DanXD. Can they find any more? Here comes Sendo. Here it goes, Taxa looking for an engage onto Yusa. Can the rest of his team get involved? It's the question. Shockwave got to stop it. Oh, that's a huge Hammer's Anvil! Quicksef, you're not going anywhere! Because Hyperion, they're onto the Nexus Towers looking for this upset win over Excel. 1 down, Sendo locked up. Their second Nexus turret to follow. And that's going to be Hyperion looking to finish the job onto Sendo, looking to finish the job onto Taxa, looking to finish the job onto the Nexus, because that is Hyperion 1-1 against Excel.
I think we're going to be going back to the plan that we had for the first game. I don't think we need to change that other than the extra mid-bans in second rotation. I think we'll be looking for something more like Azir or maybe Victor again, but most likely Azir into the Ori. Okay, we're going to do the reset thing again. Okay, this time we're going to describe that other check, the one above the table. Everyone picture it in your mind. Try and give it as many details as possible. Not just a rectangle. What's in it? What colour is it? Try and get it as clear as you can in your mind.
I think we won game 1 quite convincingly, and I think before the series we expected to stomp them. But then we have some different strategies, and we were trying a completely new strategy in game 2, and it didn't work out. And obviously we are a bit stressed out in a best of 3 series when they take a game, because then, for all we know, they can take game 3 as well. But we just said together that we were going to do the same strategy that worked for us in game 1, in game 3 as well. Going for something silver, and luckily it worked out very well for us.
This is Sendo looking just straight up steal. Rippy comes through. Yeah, wow, what a huge steal coming through. Now they engage in the bot side. It's XL all over the map. Snuggly's left to dry, and he will go down. And oh, and that's taking Instinct. It's a double kill coming through.
They still have a very strong engage. They're going to try force it onto his ear.
Can they find any more is the question. Dan diving on into Rippy, but can't find the kill. Gets taken on down by Venza. Now potentially in trouble the side of Hyperion as Venza wants to go forward and find a double. And at this point, XL look unstoppable. Taxa finding ADM all caught out. That is all she wrote. Time for these turrets to fall. Use is dead. Snuggly's dead. They're all dead. Hyperion's dream is dead. And XL show us that they can play some League of Legends here tonight. They win the series 3-1. And they're through to the semi-finals, punching a ticket to Barcelona. Congratulations on your quarterfinal win. How are you feeling after that match?
I'm feeling extremely relieved, happy. So I think game 1 was actually not playing differently. I think they had such a awkward comp to play an AD carry against, because they had Orianna, Malphite, Trundle, Braum, so it's really hard to actually auto-attack people without dying. Game 2 was we tried something different, we tried something we're not so proficient on, and it backfired a bit, so going into game 3 we just went back to full comfort.
Looking forward to your next matchup in the semi-finals. You're either going to be playing up against M&M Gaming or Misfits Academy.
Yeah, I'm excited going into Barcelona. We've got a very full week coming up. We're playing 3 blocks every day, as well as doing some one-on-one stuff, as well as doing some VOD reviews as well. So it's going to be really intense for this last week, because so much of it's on the line. If we win, obviously we'll go into EU Masters, which is such a big deal for us. That will carry on the season, but it sort of feels like we really need to make this big final push. I feel quite good about going into Barcelona, going up against the teams. Misfits having Special back is obviously really, really good for them. A massive upgrade, even on Leader, who, like I said, is good, but I mean, Special is, not only has he played with them a lot before, but he's a great leader within the team, from what I've heard, and he plays a very diverse champion pool and can play multiple different roles.
We want to leave kind of no stone unturned to work out how we actually beat Misfits. So we're putting in as maximum hours we can put in. Could be our last week of the season. For me, and probably for Sendo, it feels like a bit of a return going back to Spain, because that's where we kind of learnt a lot of our trade last year. I've been to the studios before. I've coached Sendo at the studios before, but none of the other guys have been there. I think maybe Calvin did with E-Monkeys, but yeah, that's kind of where we're heading. Really looking forward to it, and it'll be a good show.
So many bags. Every time I go to Astor, I forget a bag.
Really? I'm really good about it. I'm not
Well
contributing to global warming, John.
Yeah, I used to take a suitcase when I was at uni.
Wait, John, you took a suitcase to the supermarket?
Well, yeah, when I was at uni, yeah.
Okay, you look slightly...
Yeah, but I don't care what
How
people
things?
want.
Good.
Right.
Nice to see you both.
It was so much more efficient.
Show Gaff mid special.
Fair, yeah.
Shogaf support, Shogaf AD.